So good evening. Well, I just did a review on the Epiphone Les Paul Modern and the Gibson Les Paul Modern. Thanks to the fine folks at Guitar Center, I was able to review this 2023 Gibson Les Paul Modern. After review, I found the Epiphone to not be as lacking as I thought it would be against a Gibson USA. So I thought to myself, I sat down here and I have a couple other guitars that I really enjoy playing that are both single cuts. One of them is the vintage V100. I paid $250 for this guitar. Yes, it has the Revelation EMG set passives. It has a bow and bar on it and a fantastic finish, amazing fretwork, a phenomenal neck. I honestly don't know how anybody could top a guitar, a Les Paul style guitar like this. And I paid $250. It is quite literally perfect. Now, there is one caveat. This is almost 12 pounds, so it is not light. Now, I traded quite a few guitars for this. This is the ESP LTD EC400. This is a Korean-made Les Paul style guitar. EMG 8160 pickup set, actives. It does not do any push-pull. It's just straight on active EMGs. The fretwork, so I did take steel wool to the back of the neck because it was really sticky. I don't know what kind of clear they used, but it hung up pretty bad. So I taped it off and it plays. The neck is fantastic. This is probably one of the best, if not the best guitar neck I've ever played. That's not an exaggeration. Thickness wise, it's perfectly, I did polish the frets. They are gleaming, and it really made a big difference because the frets were a little gritty. Again, this guitar I think was marked $400 and some odd, and I bought it at Atomic Music in Beltsville, Maryland. This guitar was marked to $425, and I traded a bunch of older used guitars that I didn't play anymore for this. And this is if you ever get a chance, this is an older 400. If you ever get a chance to play one of these things, it's probably, I think it was 9.5 pounds. So it's a great weight, perfectly balanced, zero neck dive. If you're looking for a Les Paul that's gritty, that can really get into metal, this is a 24 fret. This is not a 22 fret. So it's a little different to play a Les Paul with 24 frets, if anybody's watching this, they know. So I played them, and I thought to myself, I do that. What would be the real test because most of my guitars are very inexpensive. I have a few nice guitars, but most of my guitars are less than $400. What guitar do I have that could even come close to the prestige that this guitar is? And about 1.5 years ago, I traded in 4 medium-end guitars at Bill's Music in Catonsville. For a 1998 Peavey Wolfgang USA Meridian Mississippi made guitar. It has an asymmetrical neck, very similar to The Gibson and the Epiphone Les Pauls both have asymmetrical necks. If you don't know what an asymmetrical neck is, it's thicker on the bass side, thinner on the treble side. And again, because my wrist being damaged, asymmetrical necks work really well with my hand. This was one of the guitars that Eddie Van Halen. This is the brand that I think after Music Man, he went to Peavey. And I've played all of them. As a matter of fact, I have two EVH, Fender branded EVH, that are Asian made. They're not USA made. And actually, they're really, really, really nice guitars. I have a Faro Gold, and I paid less than, I think I paid $400 for the Faro Gold, and I paid a little bit more for the purple. This is kind of a dream car. Well, I don't say kind of. This is bucket list guitar for me. This is a 5A top on this guitar. I'm trying to show you with some sunlight the markings on this maple top are, I mean, this guitar looks like it's alive. This is super light. It's around 7 3/4 pounds, which as compared to the modern is still 9.5 pounds. Both the Epiphone and the Gibson are like 9.5 pounds. This is 7 3/4 pounds. Neck access, very similar to the modern. The neck and body access is cut, so you have really good access. Now this is actually a 22 fret. And this has factory pickups in it. So these are stock pickups. Now, the Les Paul Modern. they're similar in a lot of ways, but they're also very, very, very different in a lot of ways. And they're both USA made. You can, I don't know if you can see the difference in neck height, but we'll put them down on the ground. There is a substantial difference in height between the two. The EVH feels like, the Peavey feels like it's a part of you when you're playing it. The Gibson Les Paul feels like a Gibson Les Paul. It doesn't feel like a boat anchor, not like a V100, but it's up there. The fretwork on this US made Peavey, worlds different, better in every shape and way than the American made Gibson Les Paul. And I said, so I just got this literally today. Borrowed it from Guitar Center so I could do the review between the Epiphone and this. I'm not going to say the Gibson isn't a nice guitar, because, I mean, it is. It's a... Now, for the price, the fit and finish of this, pretty disappointed. Their quality control, I don't know if that's new with Gibson, but I've been hearing a lot about them failing drastically on their quality control, and this is definitely evidence of that. Yeah, it's not a custom shop. Yeah, it's not a Murphy Lab, but it's still almost $4,000. It's $34.99 brand new. In 1998, this was $3,000, I think, $3,100. But this is substantially older. This is a 1998, and this is a 2023. This guitar feels very alive in your hands. If you play guitar, you understand what I mean. This feels, if I'm going to say it, it feels like an old guitar. Even though it's a modern, it feels old. I don't want to say old. Old doesn't sound right. Maybe it's old. It feels old in comparison to this. I've heard this called Peavey's Les Paul, and I guess it's pretty close, right? I think if you're going to go for a Gibson, you're going for nostalgia. You're not really going for, especially now today. This is the I did try a modern SG Gibson. The neck dive was so bad I couldn't even play the guitar. Again, everything on my left side was damaged from a motorcycle accident, so it would literally pull. As I was playing it, I felt like I was going like this because the neck would fall. I have an Epiphone worn. You can probably see it over here somewhere. I have a worn SG from Epiphone that doesn't have any neck dive at all. It's actually a really cool guitar. That's a P90. It has two Alnico 5 P90s in it. Again, I try not to make my guitar videos too long because, I mean, obviously I'm not some famous YouTuber and people probably don't even care what I think. But if for some reason somebody's out there contemplating a Les Paul because they think it'll be really cool, go out and find yourself a Peavey USA and give that a shot before you buy the Gibson. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Again, am I saying it's not a nice guitar? No, it's a nice guitar. But for $3,400, $3,500 for this, yeah, not even close. Anyway, again, hope I didn't offend your delicate sensibilities, any of you Gibson fans out there. I just call it the way I see it for me. So, rock on, do what you gotta do. If you're a Gibson guy, rock on, play your music, enjoy. If for some reason Joe Bonamassa ever saw this and said, you're a jerk for saying that about Gibson. Now, let's be fair. The Gibsons that Mr. Bonamassa has are substantially different than a 2023 Les Paul Modern. He's playing vintage stuff that's worth probably more than my house. But as far as quality goes, the golden age of Peavey, made in Meridian, Mississippi in 1998. And so because they didn't keep very good records, the only way to really identify these guitars is the codes on the potentiometers. And it is dated to the September-October timeframe of 1998. So 1998, 1999, which was known as the golden age for these guitars. This is easily the coolest guitar I've ever played. And what an honor it is to play something that Eddie Van Halen designed. Anyway, so that's my video, my comparison between the 2023 Gibson Les Paul Modern and 1998 Peavey EVH. And if you'll notice, it's a hardtail. It's not a Floyd. You probably already noticed that. Anyway, so that's my video. Have a great evening. Rock on, jam out, play what you got to play. Fender, Gibson, Schecter, Squier. Enjoy what you play. Anyway, have a good night. See you guys.